limited to what you can think about. So for instance, you know, in Excel, we said if we wanted to change something from lower to upper, all of that stuff. I don't really need to do that in here. What I just need to do is go to where I want it to be. For instance, this driver names. I can go to transform here, and I will tell Excel, you know what? Change this guy. I sent a new link, please. I'm sorry. I sent a new link. And don't complain. I can go here, right click and tell Power BI, change everything here to what? Uppercase. And what does it do? It does that for me. Are we together? So there are very many other transformations we can do inside of Power. We can even create. So I click on the column that has a text in it. Go to click on transform tab at the top. Okay, you'll see format.
The power device.
Format.
Hello.
Yeah, over there. As he has to show us that he can do this stuff, you know, right? So, are you using the query mode? Okay, that's I'm assuming you're not currently selecting a text column. You're good now, right? Okay, so that's another option. Okay, I can even add new columns here. Now, before we said we can remove a column, we can even add new columns. Now, I'm too vexed with Power BI, I'm too geeky. I want to remove the column I created and create another one. The same information because I want to show off my Power BI skills. So what do? I go here, I remove the month column. Okay, and I go here, add column. All right, I sent a new link, please. Sorry, just in case. But if you want to sit in, that's fine as well. I can now create a new column and say, you know what? From this date column, are we together? Don't worry, these transformations, we're not going to learn all of them in one day. That's the truth. Where I want to take us to is how to even create, even if it's just our first visualization inside of Power BI. Then these transformations will keep improving on them week in, week out. I click on this date column, for instance, and I say, you know what? Give me the month. Give me the month from this date. What does Power BI do? It looks at that date column. It tries to understand which one is the month there and create a new column from it. Do you get? Let's even go back there. I would say loading dates. Click on dates here under the add column, and I change it to, let's even get the year. We already know we know that this is at 20, but let's even have the column that gives us the year. So for instance, you may want to use the year as a filter later on. You know when we're talking about filters and stuff like that. Or you want to even use it as for your columns, you can do that here as well. Click on year, it gives you the year. It gives me a new column called year. It didn't take away the previous one. Now, I'll go back to that same place. I want to show you one that's quite interesting. That if you go to month, it gives you some other options there. It says start of month, end of month. Remember those times where you have to write formulas to determine, as for those who use advanced Excel, where you have to start writing formulas for when does this particular, you want to calculate how many days from this day to the end of the month. All you just need to do is start Power BI. This is my start of month, end of month. Okay. So this is my current month, and I want to know what the end of this particular month. So this is 1st of January 2017. What is the end of 1st of January 2017? It's 1st of January, right? How do I know that? How do I do that here? I just click what? End of month, and it's notice I'm not writing any formula. And this can work on large data sets. Just think about it. At least in TSA we have data sets that are running yeah. And this particular tool can handle it, get what you want out of it and make sense out of it. So let's not stall too long in this particular step. But something I must mention is that please note that for every step you have over here, for every step you have on the right here, if one is dependent, as soon as you remove that step, it's going to fail the rest. So for instance, logically, let's even take it logically. Can I get the year if I don't have a day? Can I? So if I had removed the date column first, I wouldn't have been able to do any one of this. Okay? But imagine me now going ahead now, steps backwards and remove the date column. It's going to throw up an error. Okay? So if you are running step that is dependent on another step, you want to be careful not to delete that step. You can delete steps if you want to, but just make sure it's not affecting something that is going to throw up an error. So that's a side note. So once I'm done with all of this, I click on my file and I click close and apply. By the way, I want to make this note. We're coming back here, I think, seconds because of what's going to throw up. It's likely going to throw up an error for us. Just prepare your mind. So it's not a mistake. So close and apply in this case brings us to that first stage where we went to, that load. Remember, the first step we had load, we had edit, and we said no, let us not go straight. Let's not load. Let's go and create a year column. Let's delete the former month column and create a new month column. All of these things are data modeling transformation, which we can do inside of our data. Okay. Now I want to bring this data to Power BI to make sense out of it. Then I click on what? Close and apply. There are two other options there. I don't want you to ask me a question about it. I don't want to. It's step by step, exactly. Close and apply in this case means close the query editor. You're not closing Power BI. Close the query editor mode of Power BI and load this information to, or this new transformation to my data, to Power BI Visualization Center. So let's click on close and apply, and it's going to do its own work. It's going to start running some very funny things. This is where some people, we are just Nigerian people. Sometimes this can take forever. Sometimes, depending now, this is going to depend on your speed of your system. But this is where I was going to. Now, Power BI is telling me something. Power BI is telling me something. It's telling me one of the loaded queries contained errors. I can choose to ignore this error and move on. But what Power BI will do is that those rows that had errors, it will load them. Okay? And the errors they could come up in various ways. It can be you doing something that is not right. I know this error, and I'm going to explain it when we go back to it. This is meant to go smoothly. What is happening? Let's go back and view what the error in this case would be. And hopefully it's going to tell us 323 errors. So click on view error to go back. And now if you click on view error, it's going to open the query editor again. Come on. Yeah. So notice something. On the left here, we loaded the sheet one before, but now Power BI has filtered out those ones that had errors in them and kept them in a new query here, saying, okay, you know what? This is your data. This is what you brought to me the first time, but this is the error. These are the errors. Try and identify what the errors in. Go and correct it in your original data, and we're good. Okay. Now, what is the error? I look at the first row, because for it to show up as an error, it means there is an error somewhere. Loading fees. Remember that issue we had in Excel where we mentioned that instead of putting 0, we're having to type hyphen or dash. You get, and you know in Excel if you type 0, it also means dash in accounting when you use accounting format. But typing dash, or maybe some people don't do it twice, doesn't mean 0. So it means you're having text amongst numbers. And Power BI has understood this particular column called loading fees as a number. How do I know? Let's go back to our original sheet. And please, if you have questions online, both here and online, please feel free to ask questions. This is Power BI. I'm ready to take questions at any point in time. Feel free to ask the questions. Drop it in the chat and I'll do my best to answer. Now let's go back to the original sheet, which is the sheet 1. I want to explain why that is throwing up an error. You might be wondering, how does Power BI know that that is a number? The same way Excel was able to identify that the first column I had was a number, it's the same way Power BI is trying to understand this. And Power BI is a bit more strict than Excel when it comes to that. Remember in Excel, it says it's just counting it, but Power BI is saying no. It's either you're having a number here or you're having a set. You can't have both. But if you're going to have both, that means I'm going to treat it as not a number. Okay? When Power BI was creating the various steps from the source to the particular worksheet we selected, it created a header for each of my data. Look at this. Click on source step up here and see what it gives you. It just gives you one very funny table showing you what your data source looks like. Okay? In this your data source, you went to something called sheet 1. And it loaded this data. Okay? Now Power BI trying to be yes. On the steps here, just click on source. On the step there, on the step to the right, click on source. If you have any questions online. Not one. Sorry, what is it? Okay, click on the next step called navigation. Click on the next step called navigation. So, what Power BI is doing is, for everything is trying to do transformation of your data, is recording it as a step. The reason why it's doing this is so that this data, if you go and update it today with more information underneath, and click your refresh in Power BI, what does it do? It follows that same step. I go to the source, I go to this particular sheet, I get the data out, and then I promote the headers, and I do all of it. It takes those steps one after the other to give you latest information. So imagine having, for instance, what can we work with now? Have a truck going to fuel, and you have that record stored. You have another truck going to fuel, you have that record stored. You have another truck going to fuel, and this data right now is just 5 trucks. What happens when you have 10 trucks? Do you want to create a new report for that? No. Your previous report can be updated to give you, no, the previous report remains, but the data in it can be what? Updated. That's the way Power BI handles data and the presentation. Just the way you do it in Excel, for those who have used Excel to chart level. You'll notice that once you have extra data to your Excel, or you have an update to the numbers in your Excel chart, it also adjusts the charts themselves. So that's what we're trying to achieve in Power BI. It's telling Power BI, you know what, this particular data may increase. So you know what, store this particular step, remove this particular column, create this particular column for every new data that is coming into this. That is the power of these steps to the right, yes. Format.
Then I will have to do some steps. Then they want to store the steps so that
these steps are stored. You don't need to do it again.
if I get another source,
that's it. Just link this file or link it to that data or update that data, whichever way you want to do it. You can link this file to that new. I'm sure in your case maybe you're downloading a new file. So you can link this particular Power BI file to that data. What you're doing is you're just changing the source. So every step remains exactly. Does that make sense? So the way Power BI will manage it is, it looks at the data, the source itself. It looks at the data. Oh, this is the source. I keep this here. This is what I'm supposed to do as Power BI. I keep it here. And this is what the report will look like. And it stores that one here. So, that's correct. So yeah, the data, the model, and your report. Does that make sense? So anything you can change your source as many times as possible. Okay? Or update your source as many times as possible. The model remains. Okay? And your report should follow suit. All right? So now Power BI now says, I promote the headers. Remember, in this data right here, we have, in this data here, we have, it's giving me different columns, whereas that first row there is meant to be my header. The Power BI is trying smart enough to understand that that might be a header, and it promotes that header to become the header of the various columns in Power BI. This is really using Excel. Seems like it's easy. Anyway, so for the other steps we see going downwards, I may have to disconnect that. For the other steps we see down there, Power BI keeps storing that. And I want to go and eliminate the error which Power BI has shown to us that a particular column here, the ones that are supposed to have numbers, are having text in them. So what do we do? If you are, what word can I use as an example now? Larry, let me use it. Because yeah, if you have in this instance text coming up under your numbers in that column, what would you do? Finance wise, this is not Power BI wise. What would you do? In that, you change it to a number. What number would you change that to? Depends on what you want. Fantastic. Now, in this case, where you understand that wonderful people are supposed to create, the wonderful person that sent you that data is supposed to is trying to imagine a zero and puts in a dash there. What would you do? That's dash is meant to be a zero. What would you do? To what? A zero. So let's say we can replicate same instead of Power BI because that dash is not meant to be there, it's just meant to be a zero. Come on. What about the next? So we have a better display. This is not apparently. All right, give me a second to get back up. Sorry for the break. If you're online and you're still with me, please just make a comment in the chat box, please. Thank you. If you're online and you're still following, I've not lost you. Please just make a comment in the chat box. Oh, sorry for the delay. It's 6:10. And there's nothing within Excel which replicates in Power BI, and we can. We are back. Thank you for your patience. All right, so these various steps are stored here. The first error we found it under the loading fee column, right? So I can right click here under the loading fee column and say, you know what? Power BI, let's follow. I can go under transform here, replace values. In this case, I want to replace the errors that we have here because we have a consensus here that the errors are meant to be zeros instead of that's what we have found out. If that's not your case, please Find something else to do about it. And I go back to your source data and correct it. This we are doing here, we can actually correct it in our source data, but imagine that's not your power to change. Like some of the things that go on now, for instance, that need to be adjusted. I don't have the power to change that, but I can do that something similar inside of Power BI. Okay, so I can do what? Replace error. You're going to ask me what do I want to replace my errors with? I can type in 0 here, and are we together? Are we together? Clicking on OK, Power BI creates a new step to the right here. Interestingly, these steps, they can be as many as possible. What Power BI will do whenever you load this data again is you're going to follow these steps diligently. Okay. Now, how do I know if what I did here was okay or not? I can go back to these errors up here and see, okay, where else do I have errors? So it seems like there are no errors anymore. That's what it's looking like. This particular space where we had errors before is now empty. You didn't get that. I'll take away this column. I'll take away this step. Watch this. I remove this replace error. I remove it. Remember when we came through that show error, whatever it is, it brought us to this particular screen with these columns and errors in them. And how do we know the error? Just keep moving to the right and find where we have the error. In this case, the error is coming from the loading fields column. Okay, so how do we deal with this? How do we deal with this? I'll go back to my main data itself. All right. Do you get where my main data is? My main data is the one down there. The error is one up there. The one showing my error is one up there. Okay. So I go to my loading fees column here. I'll do my transform, replace values, and replace errors. Replace the errors with what? 0. And what does Power BI do? It creates a step as it did before, processes it within it. And when I go back to particular page, which means there is no error again. When yours is not doing so, what data are you working with? So what is it showing you there?
What I think error, and you just add the
Step. Yes.
and it doesn't bring it.
It won't take you. You go click on it. Go click on that error in sheet 1. Click on it. Yes. So let me explain how this error in sheet 1 comes about. What Power BI has done is it's referenced your original data and says these are the ones I figure out have errors in them. Please correct. Normally it will load it to your data visualization studio, but it's going to keep it here for you. So fix this, then you have it in there. So now that we are good on this thing, then we can do what? What did we do before? Close and apply. And it's going to run that thing again, do this, and we are good. Now we just crossed one step, or whatever, let me call it the second step towards in our data modeling. The first one was the getting of the data. The second one was clearing all these errors, creating new columns where necessary, and stuff like that. Now the third part is let's create something out of this. Just like your pivot tables, for those who were in the previous one, for every column you have, Power BI creates what we call here a field to the right. Okay? Now, as much as you want to play, just drag anything out. It mustn't be what I've done. Drag any field out and let's see what it shows you. Drag any field out. Before I do anything, just drag any field. Drag any field. It's not about what the manual says you should do. It's about what Power BI can do. Drag any out of there. In our case, I'll just drag out my sales revenue, for instance. And it throws up this Tower of Babel with the sum of my revenue. Okay. Now let me explain what we are looking at. Let me explain what we are looking at. And we call this the building blocks in Power BI. If all of this sounds like theory, please, it's because it's necessary. Okay? When we are using it, it becomes a bit more interesting. This is just the bit you need to know. All right. So if it's boring or if it's not so interesting, don't worry, we are going to get an interesting part of it very soon. This view we are seeing here, this blank space, this white space, call it your report, call it your dashboard. People have different names for it. But Power BI's official name for this white space we have here is what? A report. Okay? That's Power BI's official name for this, what we are looking at. And you can have different pages in a report. So page 1, just like your standard Excel, page 1 can go to page 2, you can create another page, page 3, and keep going on and on like that. All right? So going back to page 1, this we drop in here is what we call a tile. A tile, T-I-L-A, T-I-L-E, just like the floor tiles. That is the idea behind it. So for everything you call a dashboard today, they are built up with what? Tiles. Do you understand? For everything you call a dashboard today, for everything you call a report today, they were built with what? Various tiles. So one tile could be showing you the total revenue. Another tile could be showing you revenue by contract. Another tile could be showing you one very fantastic long chart like that. Okay, another tile could be showing you any other information. It can just be a text. Are we together? Those are we call it the building blocks in Power BI. This application we are working with on our system now is the Power BI desktop. It is one part of Power BI. Power BI has the desktop which any and everybody can use. It's free to use. That's one of the reasons that makes it a very powerful one. There's learning every month for them, and they are improving the tool. And there is something called the Power BI service. That is Power BI Online. The only time you need that part of Power BI is if I must share my report with the next person. That's like the long and short of what we have online. It doesn't have as many features as you have in your desktop. That's the truth. You do most of the work or the heavy lifting here. Everything you do online is basically sharing my report with the manager over there. We're sharing my report with the manager over here. Sharing my report with the accountant over there. Are we together? Or share my report with a particular unit. That is where the online bit or the Power BI service, as they call it, comes into play. All right, and it's a paid service. It's free for you to use, but for you to share with the next person, you need to pay. I'll just keep that in mind. In that service, there is something called a dashboard. So I don't know if we've ever had a discussion. I think I've had a discussion in GM. If you ever had a discussion with someone on Power BI and the person is trying to work with the technical terms of Power BI, he will tell you, this which I'm looking at here on this desktop right now is not a dashboard. Okay? That one online is what we call what? A dashboard. And I'll explain why. What Power BI has done is, from various reports, I can pick significant KPIs and pin them to one place, just like your vehicle dashboard. There are a lot of things that are running that vehicle, right? Your fuel is there. Obviously, your fuel tank and where your tire pressure, you're not coming from the same place. Sensors are not coming from the same place. So in that case, someone is providing information about your tire pressure. Someone else is providing information about your fuel. But on the general level, as the top level, as the driver of this particular business, what would you want to see? Okay, let me say, okay, Koyi, let me use that example. Not on the spot. But what would you like to see that may drive your business? What information would you like to see that may drive your business? The profit per trip. So I will assume that information is going to come from an operations person in terms of data wise. So there's going to be an operations report that provides that. Okay, sorry, profits, pardon me. Yes, finance. And yeah, data will come from there. So what again? Turnaround time will not come from finance. You agree with me on that one? TSM may agree with you. Some Some factions in TSA will argue with you on that, but yes, I understand what you're saying. Exactly. So operations in this case should provide me my turnaround time. So as a manager, what you need is not 5 reports. It's not a report from operations, report from finance. It's not a report from GM. Okay? What you will need as a manager is, you know what? My turnaround time for this week on the dashboard, just going to be one tab over there. Is going to be what? Say 2 days. All right? You picked one information from operations. You picked one information from what? Finance. And you put them all what? In one dashboard. And that's what you're looking at. So what if you want more information about, oh, why is this profit like this? Then if you click on the particular tab, it takes you to that report that works on that particular tab. Does that make sense? So that is where that technical term of Power BI report and Power BI dashboard differs. Okay? A dashboard can hold information from various reports. But today, because of the limitations that Power BI gives us, because of that paid version, sometimes we get to do everything inside of one. It's fine. Nobody is limiting you to doing that. If you want to do everything inside your one report, because this particular report we have in front of us here can house data from different sources. It can house finance data in here and create a report page for that one. Okay? So that's like a workaround, but that's not the way Power BI thought it's going to be. Okay, or Microsoft thought it's going to be. But back to where we are today, which is these styles, creating at least our first styles inside of the Power BI desktop. So how do I go? I don't know. A gift. Oh, God bless you. Thank you. All right, so we are good to go for as long as you want, but that aside. Anyways, so now this style right now is a chart. It's supposed to be like, what do they call this? Is Excel America. They call it bar. And now I think they call it the column chart. Yeah, it's funny, right? Now, how do we work out? What do we go about that? So for you to create these individual tiles inside of a report, you need what we call what? The visualization over here. Nice this. You need this. Visualizations. Yes. There are quite a number of them. People are coming up with new. Yes, you're trying to represent your information in different ways. So for instance, I want to show up how much revenue I have inside of this place. And this is good, but it doesn't tell me how much revenue. If I want to see it on a month-to-month basis, maybe this would be good. Okay, but I want to see how much revenue. So I can change this style from the column chart it is right now to, say, a card. And what happens? Sums up the values and does what? Shows me the number. The same thing it shows in that column, but this time around, it's showing it in form of a card, just writing out the value. Does that make sense? Are we together? Now, I can move my tile however I want it. I can keep it wherever I want it to be. The design is completely up to you. The limit to the design is also up to you. Now, let's see, this is revenue, total revenue. I want to see my revenue on a, okay, revenue patch. We'll come back to that bit. Sorry, I'm not going to go to revenue patch today. I know why I say so. That requires to do some calculations, and calculations in Power BI have their own steps. Okay, so I'll explain that maybe in future classes. But let's work with what Power BI gives us by just dragging and dropping. Okay, I take. When is this training going to end? Are you done? Can go home. Thank you for the well, that's going to training. I'm wondering if it's done. You can go home. But it's fine. I'm not replying. I'll choose not to reply. I'm not going to do that today. I'm not doing that today. Even people that pay school fees don't go to classes. True or false? So I went to people that pay school fees don't go to class. So anyway, so now let's see what else can we bring out of this. Remember that thing we did in pivot table. Let us see how we can put that up quickly within Power BI. Let's pick a quick table, all right, inside of Power BI. Okay. This time around, I will click on the visualization I want first. Before you know, I asked you to just drag anything in. Okay. Now let me select the visualization I want. I click on table. it gives me this blank, whatever. So what makes up a table? Columns, rows, all of that stuff, and maybe a value. So what was that one we did before? We said it was contract, right? Contract, remember? Contract. So I can drag my contract from here to, yeah. What does it do? Power BI says, in that contrast column where we have cardinal, that's not large enough. Are you seeing it? You can see that. I can increase it. Power BI says, for that column where I have contracts, these are the contracts in there. Okay? And if I want to see revenue by this different contract, what do? I drag my revenue from wherever it is inside of it. Power BI does that for me without sweat. Can you compare this now to what we did in pivot tables? You see that the ease of the complex nature of Power BI can handle. So many things Power BI can handle just beyond creating the same thing we just did in Excel. That require, like this tile I have up there, that require me to create a box, reference my value inside of that box, clean up the space to make it look white, and try to see if I can make a dashboard out of Excel. Dashboards in Excel would be great. They were very fantastic things I used to do before, but I said no, not doing that again. It just makes you feel very geeky, but whereas you can just do something like this and deliver. And when you create a speedometer chart inside of Excel, please save yourself that trouble. Save yourself that trouble. I know it makes you feel wonderful. That's a very good feeling. I also had that feeling at some point, but no, I'm not doing that today. I'm not doing that today. All right. Now, I want to even see this same revenue by contract in a bar chart. Okay. Now I will duplicate this particular visual, okay, or this particular tile, and let's see what it gives me. So in my case, I'll do what? Control C. Under. How do you mean under? Which one did you bring in first? Let me see. Sorry, I can. Is it under? Well, you didn't. You selected a different visual, so I'll show you what it. No problem. You selected a different visual. Look at the visual you selected. You selected the one close to card, which is the multi-row card. So what is this one doing? It shows you the same information, but in a different way. Remember we said we wanted to use a table. Remember I wanted to use a table, but this one shows you. So imagine if you are supposed to monitor how much you have made in a particular project. This can just show that up to you. Okay, if you don't like to use tables. So the visualizations you want, as much as Power BI can offer, please make use of them. Okay, so I'll change this back to a table. And I want to see this same information, as I said, in a station. HDMI cable is solution for me. I'll show that. Alright, rounding up shortly. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask while we try to round up this for today. Could you show how you inserted the sales revenue again? Okay. So to insert the sales revenue, for those who are online, to insert the sales revenue, just drag and drop the field you want into the table you created. That's all. Just drag and drop the field you created into the table. So I can even drag my my distance covered, in this case my kms covered. So I'm trying to connect. So while that guy is doing, I can drag this guy into here as well. Just drag and drop, and we're good. Drag it into that table, and we're good. All right. Let me see. Let me see if I can connect. I don't like this. I don't like that. Sorry, class. Sorry. Yes, I have 2 sales revenue Akilolu. That's by choice. I can remove them if I don't want them. And I'll show you how to do that in a bit. Just give me a minute. I should be able to show you how to remove that in a bit. Just drag it out and we're good. All right, so we are back here. We're back live here. Now, just the same way you had it in the pivot tables inside of Excel, where it showed you the different places you can drop different fields. Probably I have something similar. So if you go here, you will notice that everything you have dragged and dropped into that table, now this particular tile is shown there. So in this case, I dragged sales revenue once, I dragged it again, and it's giving me the both of them. So I can simply do what? Ask this one, and one of them will go out of there. Okay? Cool. Now let's see if we can. Let's create a chart out of this information. At least let's measure our business, various contracts, and see which one is performing better than the other.
We are joined online.
I copy this particular visual. Control C, Control V. The normal copy and paste that works in almost every application. I don't want distance covered. I want sales revenue. So contract and sales revenue. Okay, just click on the tile and drag. Move it around. Click and drag. Click and drag on the tile to move it around. Okay. Now I can now click on, say, let me use clustered bar charts and see which of my businesses tends to be doing what better than the other. Now, notice I've not written any formula in this thing since I started. Did you take note of that? I've not written any formula. Even when I want to, I will come back to the month. When I want to do some stuff, I don't even need to write any formula in it. We'll get to the stage where we need to write formulas. So we'll get there. Some things you may want to do that are particular to something, we'll come to that stage. Now, we can see that cardinals for Nigeria tend to be the highest in terms of revenue. Okay, just like last time, I think someone was presenting and showing a chart like this, but there was no value to it. So I use different chart. How much the cardinals firm make? You can tell me. Unless without looking at that table. You can be honest with yourself without looking at the table. How much the cardinals firm is? I will tell you. Thank you very much. But we want to know what it means, right? So let's see how we can tell what they make. Okay, so I want to add the normal data labels you have in our charts that to give them values. So I click on this. I click on this particular visual again, and this is you trying to customize a visual. Okay, so we can imagine whatever you need to do and how you want to customize it. This is me trying to customize just one visual. All right, I click on this paint ruler here. That is my customization. Every visual has its own customization. All right, so I can click on this paint here. And I can go to data label. You can see there are very many visualization options to customize this visual. I can do stuff on my x-axis. I can do stuff on my y-axis. Remember, it's a chart. It's custom to this particular visual. I can turn on a data label. Now it's currently switched off. I can turn on a data label, and it gives me my various data labels. Notice this. Notice this. Notice this. Does that make sense? I can turn on my various data labels. I can even change the color of each of these businesses. Say, I just don't like the fact that they're all green. Maybe just like that. Don't like the fact that they're all green. You want to change their colors. You can come on that data color and say, you know what, show all of them and change their colors. So, take example, give him red. Niger Cement, give him that color. Cement Co, give it that color. G Oil and Gas, give it that color. So now they're not all in the same color anymore. Does that make sense? Easy or difficult? I know it's a setup question, but easy or difficult? Easy so far. All right, I like that answer. All right. So that is Power BI basically. Okay, now let's even do one of the very many things that we may always do in Power BI, trending a performance. Okay, now we are currently looking at our revenue by business, right, or contract in this case. Let us look at our revenue, say on a month-on-month basis. Okay, and I think we'll end with that particular visual for today and present ourselves as learners in Power BI. We have started Power BI. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we do this? I'm really too lazy when it comes to Power BI. You know what? Let me copy and paste this guy again. I copied and pasted my revenue because it's revenue I want to work with. And I want it to be what? In terms of a trend, a line chart. All right? I want it to be in terms of a line chart. Well, now what makes up a line chart? Apart from the values, the intervals. Thank you very much. The interval. The values will always be there, or rather, there will be values. But what makes up a chart is usually your x and your y axis, what you are plotting. Now we have a value for our y axis, which is what? The revenue. Now, how about your revenue on a month-on-month basis? Now, this is where you may actually say, oh, so Power BI can be this also. I think this is one of this is where I found Power BI as being interesting. Watch this, please, watch this, please. I think I have loading this somewhere, right? Oh, it's not even seeing it as a date yet. Interesting. Okay, I'll just drop it there. We'll worry about the problem. I'll drag my loading date and I'll drop it under the axis and see what it does for me. When I drag it under the axis, what do you notice? What do you notice? Who else noticed that? Over here. Over here. I didn't need to do that. It does it on its own. By the way, my chart doesn't show that here though. I'll explain why. It's currently showing you on what? The first level, which is what? The year. All right? It's currently showing you on the first level up here, which is what? The year. It's just showing you the year down here. Look at it. Down here. 2017. Hmm? Sorry? I'll take it again. I changed the visualization to a line chart. Okay? And a line chart needs what we call what? An interval to be able to show, oh, from here to here it went like this, from here to here it went like this, from here to here it did like this. That is how we tell a trend. Okay? Now let's bring in the dates, which is what we want to plot it by. Okay? So and my date is currently in my loading date here. I can drag that guy and drag it to where exactly I want it to be in this visualization. I drag that to the axis. Okay? And it gives me my dates in year, quarter, month, and day. I didn't ask Power BI to do it, it did it on its own. It's a given. Okay? And how do we enjoy the benefit of this? Watch this. I right click on this visual and tell Power BI, expand this information to the next level and see what it does. What do you notice? That is very tiny, right? But if you notice that, if you look down here, it changes the information from to the various quarters we have in the year, the 4 quarters we have in the year. Do you notice that? Let me even expand this further. The first quarter, the beginning of the second quarter, the beginning of the third quarter, the beginning of the fourth quarter. So this is automatically telling you that quarter by quarter, your revenue is what? Dropping. Does that make sense? Are we together? That's like, if you're going to look at a trend in this already, quarter by quarter, my revenue is what? Dropping. We can go in and customize this particular visual the way we want it to be. All right? I can take it even a step further. Currently, I'm looking at it on a quarter level. Remember, it showed me year, quarter, month. Okay? Let's even see what happens on a month-by-month basis. I right-click in this same visual and I tell it, expand to the next level and see what it does. Just click inside the visual. Just right-click inside the visual. Right? It will give you the expand to the next level. What this is telling you is what we call it a hierarchy in Power BI. So you're able to drill down to know what is happening in a particular period. In this case, we're not drilling down, we're going to the next level. If you want to drill down, you look at a particular quarter and look at the various months in that quarter only. We'll come back to that part of the visualization. But this is Power BI giving us that same information which we had in Excel, showing us our revenue month on month, showing us which business is giving us the highest revenue, and maybe in terms of kilometers covered as well, a table giving us that same information and the total revenue. Let's even keep this clean. Let's tidy up the house. So I'll just move things around. I think I'll rather put this guy beside this. So as you're looking at, this is usually what you have to think about if you are going to present something to anybody, right? It's no longer for you. How will this person understand this? Okay, it goes beyond what you understand from this data. How will this person even understand this thing I'm about to send? So I think in my own case, I can put the businesses or the contracts side by side. Let me close this guy. I don't like this guy. I can put the contracts side by side here. Adjust my visual to even fit, blah blah blah. And I can make the table be something down here, and we are good. I can even put more fields in this table. Currently, I have distance covered. I can put quantity loaded. I can put what again? Loading fees. You asked for loading fees earlier. Some of trip allowance. I just created a table of values down there by just doing what? Drag, drop, drag, drop, drag, drop. I'm happy to hear that. But that's actually the why Power BI came to be, and that's what is giving it its strength today. I think there's this metric that evaluates BI tools year on year. That's one of the reasons why Power BI has been up there for I think 4 years in a row now. Has no other tool has beaten its, they call it simplicity and one other thing. They rank based on two metrics. Simplicity, I think is one of that two of them. They call it the Gartner metric of BI tools. That's one of the reasons why Power BI is still up there today.
So if you get that sum of numbers,
which one?
Sum of numbers, they relate to that like number of things.
Okay, drag number of trips. I was waiting. I thought I could escape that, but now let's show you how that is done. Not escape by escape, but let me show you how that is done here. You know, here we're just been doing sum. How do we do that here? Something similar. How do we count the trips in Excel? Remember, we have one field we brought in. What field was that? The number field, right? Let's just bring that field in again. It's here. Power BI will do just like this brother. It's going to solve it up. So what do? I go to this field here, where all of this are. I just tell Power BI, you know what? This guy, don't sum it, please. Just do what? Count. Now that we have discussed counts, let's talk about one more kind of count, we call what? The count distance. So a truck, for instance, can run 2 trips, but you cannot count that truck what? Twice. How many trucks were used? 1 truck. How many trips? 2 trips. Okay. Remember, if you're going to record that trip, trip 1, C501. That's like that truck is 501. That's like my favorite truck. I don't know why I use it everywhere. Apart from examples that involve bad things, I use it everywhere. So I want to see that truck at some point. I don't know why. I just like the number. So C501, for instance, records a particular trip today. You what? Record it, right? If you record another trip tomorrow, you will record it. If you're going to count how many trucks worked, will you count it twice? No, just one. The same thing applies to a driver. A driver drives this truck, drives another truck in that same period. How much times are you going to count the driver? Once. But when you want to count how much the driver has generated for you, you obviously calculate everything to him. But how many times this driver occur, or is how many times your trips are? But how many drivers did this job? 1, 2, 5, maybe, not 55. Are we together? And let us answer that question using Power BI without writing any formula as well. So I have my driver ID column here I'm sure we saw it in Excel. We didn't use it there. We're going to use it here. Okay. If I drag it into this table, what will Power BI do for me again? Your guess is as good as mine. To sum it all. But our driver IDs are unique. Now I want to start talking about uniqueness of data here. Your name might not be unique. So, any two people's names are, yes, Bimbo at the back here. Her name is Bimbo. We have Bimbo upstairs as well. His name is also Bimbo. So the only thing that will differentiate the both of them is their staff number, right? So if you ever go to count it by the name, you count the two of them, apart from the surname now, using intentionally using the name. You're going to count it by the name, you're going to use the same, you think they're the same people, but actually they are two different people. All right. So how do I'm going to use my staff ID to count. I go to driver ID and I tell Power BI, do what? Count distinct. It means this guy, no matter how many times he appears, count him as what? 1. Now, note, a driver could work with Hambulu and work with Chike. Is that good? He drives a pizza calling truck from here to Jigawa and back and just simply picks up and that was not my example. That was not my example. That was not me. That was not me. So he drives from here to Jigawa and back and says he wants to rest, just goes to Chiki and run a PMS local or an NU trip and is back before going on another Jigawa trip for Hambulu. Now, that guy is going to count for Hambulu's contract and is going to count for Chike's contract. But business-wise, the guy is going to be counted as what? 1. So that's how the count distinct works. So if I do what count distinct, it's going to do its own magic within itself. I think, yeah. Yeah, cardinal for. Yeah. Yes. All right, I'll answer that question. Now, there's a reason why you're looking at your information by contract first. Now, how many drivers did this job for you in this contract? Do you understand? How many drivers did this job for you in this contract? It's going to count it for that contract. How many drivers did the job for Ambolo in this contract? It's going to count in that contract. But business-wise, that's this number down here. To count it just once as well. Yes, it's not. This number down here is not summing. Number down here is not summing. Is what's counting distinct. So business-wise now, 469 drivers were in this case utilized. The same thing is applicable to trucks. When they say something, you most likely will not get 469. All things being equal. That's in the real life scenarios. Or in a real TSS scenario, that's not 469 more. Okay. Now let's bring in our T number for my guys in Lafarge. Call it truck number, right? How many trucks worked for you yesterday? Or in this? None. Okay, I love this. What has this guy done? He takes my T number because they are all T numbers and it does what? He splits my information by T number. I don't really want my information by T number. I just wanted to count how many T numbers are in here. So I'll tell Power BI, you know what? Please don't split this information just yet. I want to just count how many T numbers are here. When I need to look at information on truck level, then you can do all this your wisdom. So I go back here and tell Power BI, you know what? Currently it's not summarizing it. I'll tell Power BI, you know what? Summarize. Summarize is by counting. That's remember what I mentioned earlier in Excel. What's the measure? It's a count, it's a sum, it's an average. All those that give you a number. You try to summarize what the pivot table does. That's what Power BI kind of works with. That's the mentality. So if I count distinct T numbers, what will happen? It's going to bring it back to where it was before. I count how many trucks. So in this case, Cardinal Fuels utilized 82 drivers and they drove 85 trucks. You can already explain what I don't explain anything here. Don't explain anything here. Thank you very much. That's not you say what? That's what's again. Oh, okay, I was wondering what was happening. Let me see if I even have anybody online. I still have 7 participants online. All right, so that's for me kind of why this screen is trying to come back up. That for me kind of summarizes what Power BI is all about. You get this, as I said, is just a building block to a lot more, a lot more, and a lot more. You get um, data scientists. Some people, data scientists use Power BI to just draw their visualization. Some people see Power BI as just that tool to use do visualization, and that's fine. Some business will see it as a tool to make business intelligence, take out business intelligence from, and so on and so forth. But in the real sense of it, this is what Power BI is all about. No, it will never do that in Jesus' name, and I pray it never starts doing that. It's a fantastic option, but the reason why Power BI was made is to read your data, never to edit, because of first data security. So that issue is always there. So what they're saying is going to do, even with this one, they're even viewing right now. There could be issue with data security, but at least it's not touching my source data. But what you can do is you can do some sort of transformation within. So for instance, today, that man over there, I'm trying to look for a right example. The TMP team, for instance, they run TMP ATK, TMP AGU, and I think TMP PMS. And these are three different contracts. But when it's being reported, there are three different contracts as system as data is gathered. This contract one, this contract, or this contract. When this report is being generated and presented, we are presenting TMP. How do you do that? I don't go back to change that in my data. Because first, again, your data needs to retain its integrity at all times. But you can now say in Power BI, you know what? Let's group this particular set. So let's assume, I really want to do that here. Let's assume these two guys, they don't have anything in common. I'd have grouped some two guys here. But in that case, I can just group all the TMPs and say, you know what, all this TMP ATK, this TMP AGO, this TMP is just TMP. It doesn't mean if I want to see further, I cannot see, but I'm not interested in all those details. I'm just interested in what TMP. So give me information on the TMP level. So I can do that inside of Power BI. Again. So those are things we will probably develop our skills on as we progress. Yeah, okay. That's like, sometimes you do something, you forget to do the rest. Okay. In this case, Power BI just gives you option, your regular file, your save, all of that. So to keep this file secure, by saving this file, you are saving those steps. You are saving the source. You're not saving your source, because that source, if you go and delete it today and refresh this file, it's going to lose. It's not going to read it. Right now, if I go and delete the source for my document, it's not going to read it any longer. And it's going to throw up an error here. Yes, and refresh here. Take that. Let me take that again. Remember what I said earlier, how Power BI manages your data and reports. So it has the source bit, which is, where is the file? Where is your data? That's what it's asking you. It's a question. Where's your data? With that Power BI, this is my data. And I say, okay, I've noted that this is your data. It records that as a step somewhere. That's all it does there. As you mentioned, you can't edit that. Then it now says, okay, what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do on this data? I can now do some other transformational things. I can create columns. I can delete some other ones inside of Power BI only. It stores that as various steps, right? Then I go to this view where we are currently, which is create a report out of what we currently have. So your data source remains same. It can change.
What I'm thinking, they don't know like save as.
Save as what now? The Power BI file or now or your data.
The way it is now.
No, now you are saving Power BI file. Okay, what Power BI is storing is what your source link is.
It's always linked.
It's always linked. Yes. It's always linked to the source.
So you cannot take the source.
He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't. Okay, fine. Let me explain. Let me answer that question in two ways. Taking the source right now is why we are able to do this presentation. Why do I say so? I will explain to you. I'll go here. Here, if I go here, for instance, These are three different views you have in your front end of Power BI. You have the report, we have the data. This is your data. This is your data view. Sorry, let me minimize this. This is your data view. This is how your data looks like. Okay, and we call this your relationship. So if you have, for instance, let me work with a